Hey, welcome back to USA World. Today, President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump will hold dueling events Saturday in Georgia as their rematch for the White House moves from an inevitable likelihood to an inescapable reality. Biden will continue his post-State of the Union tour by heading to the Atlanta area as he embarks on a month-long push to deliver his message directly to swing state voters. At nearly the same time, Trump will hold a rally in the state's northwest corner as he ramps up his own political schedule with an eye toward the general election. Their head-to-head appearances separated by about 60 miles of Georgia highway will offer an early window into the competing strategies for courting an electorate less than enthused about another Biden-Trump showdown. Few battlegrounds will be more closely watched than Georgia, where Biden won by less than 12,000 votes 4 years ago, for signs of how voters are responding to the outreach, making the Peach State a fitting kickoff to the 8-month fight ahead. Georgia has been ground zero on the national political landscape since 2018, said Fred Hicks, a Democratic strategist based in Georgia. It's appropriate that this would be the first major stop after the State of the Union where the president is restarting his campaign, and where Donald Trump is trying to regain momentum. The two arrive in Georgia at a key turning point in the presidential race. Saturday's rally marks Trump's first since emerging as his party's presumptive nominee after pushing former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley to finally end her long-shot presidential campaign, nearly sweeping the Super Tuesday nominating contests and picking up 9 more delegates in Friday's Republican caucus in American Samoa. His nomination could take another symbolic step toward becoming official on Tuesday when Georgia and 3 other states award their delegates. Add feedback. Meanwhile, Biden's rousing State of the Union address marked an unmistakable pivot toward the political challenge ahead. His nearly 70-minute speech did not mention Trump by name, but included multiple references to my predecessor, and went to extraordinary lengths to set the stakes for the November election. It's the second split-screen appearance by the two men in as many weeks. Last month, Biden and Trump visited the U.S.-Mexico border on the same day. Biden hits the battlegrounds. Saturday is the second in a line of trips anticipated this month as Biden's team seeks to amplify the president's State of the Union message and build on its infrastructure, kicking off what it's calling the I'm on Board campaign. Biden visited a Philadelphia area middle school on Friday. Campaign manager Julie Chavez Rodriguez told reporters Friday that the team is engaged in new efforts to dramatically expand our volunteer engagement, scale up our battleground staff, launch our coalition groups, and invest in new paid media campaigns. There are plans for Biden and Harris to travel to every battleground state in the coming weeks, the campaign said. Next week, Biden will head to New Hampshire, Wisconsin, and Michigan. Throughout this month of action, we will aggressively mobilize the diverse Biden-Harris coalition, Rodriguez said. That includes Saturday's visit to Georgia, a state that has proved critical to Democrats winning the White House and the Senate in the last 2 cycles. Early polls of the state, however, show Trump ahead. And unlike in 2020, the race for the U.S. Senate will not come through Georgia, leaving it up to the Biden campaign to mobilize voters without the help of key down-ballot candidates. Without any statewide races, anything of note on the ballot, turnout is going to be a challenge, said Andrew Heaton, a Democratic strategist who worked for Georgia Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock. Biden's team is seeking to make age an asset, releasing a minute-long advertisement, his first of the general election, addressing the political vulnerability. And on Saturday, the president will accept an endorsement from 3 national political action committees aimed at ensuring equality for AAPI, Black and Latino Americans. Biden is scheduled to attend an endorsement event in Atlanta Saturday with Collective PAC, a PAC aimed at building Black political power, AAPI Victory Fund, which aims to increase representation in U.S. politics for Asian American and Pacific Islanders, and Latino Victory Fund, which seeks to do the same for Latinos. Democratic strategists say that one part of the winning coalition that Biden will need to address is Black men. Hicks stressed that there is little awareness among Black voters of many Biden policies, like his efforts to lower health costs and crack down on price gouging. They live inside the D.C. bubble, Hicks said. And they think that their policies are known, understood, and the impact of which are felt outside of the D.C. bubble, and that simply is not the case. So, they're going to have to tell people what they've done. This week, the Trump-aligned Super PAC, MAGA Incorporated, launched a 3-week radio ad campaign targeting Black voters in battleground states, including Georgia, which saw the largest buy. The Trump campaign has said that it sees an opening with Black voters who feel disenfranchised or left behind by the Democratic Party and is working on strategies to court these voters. Some Republicans were optimistic after polling in critical battleground states last fall indicated that Trump was making inroads with Black voters. Trump's Georgia headwinds. But there are headwinds for Trump in Georgia as well, many of his own making. After Trump became the first GOP presidential candidate to lose Georgia in 24 years, he lashed out at statewide Republican officeholders, baselessly accusing them of concealing widespread voter fraud. In a phone call with Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger 2 months after the 2020 election, Trump pressed Georgia election officials to find the votes needed to overturn the election result. Shortly after his defeat, the state's 2 incumbent Republican senators, David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler, lost their respective runoff contests against Jon Ossoff and Warnock, handing Democrats a slim Senate majority at the beginning of Biden's presidency. Many in the party blamed Trump's election denialism and criticism of mail-in ballots for lower party turnout in those runoff contests. Trump attributed his 2020 loss to Georgia Governor Brian Kemp and Raffensperger, who both refused to aid him in overturning the election in the state. Trump personally recruited primary challengers to both men in 2022, though Kemp and Raffensperger prevailed and won re-election. Trump has been indicted for his alleged efforts to interfere in the 2020 election there, making Georgia home to one of several legal battles he faces while running for president. Trump has regularly attacked Fani Willis, the Fulton County District Attorney who brought the charges. A judge is expected to rule in the coming weeks whether to disqualify Willis over her past relationship with the special prosecutor overseeing Trump's case. One Republican strategist in the state said Trump's antics there have hardened many swing voters against the former president. In 2022, that resulted in a sizable number of conservative-leaning independents and moderates splitting their tickets, voting for Kemp for governor but Warnock for Senate. This polling mirage is very dangerous for us to count in our favor, said the strategist, who asked not to be named to speak freely about the Trump campaign there. These Kemp-Warnock voters, they will not even have a conversation about Trump. You can't even start the conversation. They don't like him. Notably, Trump's rally will take place in Rome, the heart of Green's Georgia district, and the congresswoman is expected to attend. Another Georgia Republican, Representative Mike Collins, is scheduled to be there as well. Riley was killed in Collins' district and he invited her parents to the State of the Union. In a sign of how the tragedy may be further politicized in the months ahead, Green on Thursday said she told Biden during their face-to-face, "You're responsible for her murder." This story has been updated with additional details. Thanks for watching this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.